Hello and welcome to day 23 of our yoga workouts. My name is Eli Yoga. Thank you for taking the time to join me today. We will start in a standing position facing the front of our mats. Palms are facing forward, shoulders are relaxed away from our ears. As we breathe in, we can lengthen our arms up and overhead. As we breathe out, we're folding our knees into our activated chair. Breathing in, lengthening arms up and overhead. Breathing out as we fold those knees. Some of us may be able to fold our knees deeper than others. If you would like a little extra work, you're welcome to, as you bend those knees, lift your heels off of the floor. Options as opposed to obligations. We're practicing the use of a positive affirmation. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. On our next inhalation, let's keep our arms lengthened up and overhead. As we breathe out, we release hands and energy to our heart center. We step back into our wide sunflower stance. Breathing in, lengthen arms up to the sky. Breathe out, we squat down into our sunflowers. Breathe in as we lengthen back up. Equating the gathering and the distributing of sunflowers with energy. So as I squat down, I'm gathering energy, gathering sunflowers. As I stand up, I'm releasing energy or releasing sunflowers to others in the room, whether virtual or local. One breath, one movement, body and mind working together. Breath and movement matching. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. On our next inhalation, let's keep our arms lengthened up and overhead. As we breathe out, we release our hands to our heart center. Turning our right toes towards the front of our mats, pressing our left heel towards the back of our mat. Breathe out, we fold through our right knee joint. Breathe in as we straighten. You can continue to look towards the side of the mat. If you'd like to look over towards your right hand, you may. Breathing out as we fold through this knee joint. Breathing in as we straighten. Holding in our warrior two leg position, breathing into our reverse warrior, breathing out to our extended ankle. Breathing in, reverse warrior, breathing out to our extended ankle. One breath, one movement. We're letting go of thoughts of the past. We're letting go of thoughts of the future. Finding ourselves in this present breath, in this present moment. Returning to our warrior two arms. Resting our hands down, adjusting our feet, transitioning to place our right toes towards the back of our mat, pressing our right heel towards the front of the mat, left toes facing the back of our mat. When we arrive, breathing out as we fold through our left knee joint, breathing in as we straighten. Eye gaze towards the side of your mat, or eye gaze over your left shoulder towards your left fingers. We can hold ourselves in our warrior two leg position, Breathe in, reverse warrior. Breathing out to our version of extended angle. Breathing in and breathing out. Attempting to breathe through the nose at all times. If our sinuses allow us, we're letting go of thoughts of the past, letting go of thoughts of the future, finding ourselves in this present breath, in this present moment. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. Returning to our warrior two arms, adjusting our feet to our sunflower feet, hands to heart center. Five-pointed star, moon god. Breathing into our five-pointed star, breathing out into our moon god. Allowing our muscles to move with our minds, our breath and our movement to match. Reminding ourselves it's okay if your pace is faster or is slower than my pace. As long as we're breathing, as long as we're listening to our bodies, as long as we're feeling, we're following the right path. Maybe adding warrior two arms every other squat. It's okay to stick with only your five-pointed star and your moon god. If you are comfortable with adjusting your feet for warrior two legs, you can add warrior two legs with the possible warrior two arms. Yoga is about body-mind awareness, uniting breath with movement. So if this means you're moving faster than me, that's great. If it means you're moving slower than me, that is great as well. We listen to our bodies. We breathe. We feel. The next time we breathe in, let's hang out in our five-pointed star. The next time we breathe out, we release hands and energy to our heart center. Finding ourselves dropping to our knees, if that's okay for our body. Otherwise, stay with those five-pointed star moon god options, maybe adding the warrior two arms. I'm straightening my left leg, keeping my right knee bent, kneeling side plank. Breathe in, gate pose. Breathe out, return to my kneeling side plank. Promoting a nice side stretch for the right side of my body right here. And maintaining movement. Reminding ourselves it's the quality of the breath with the movement that matters as opposed to the quantity. When we enter poses in our yoga practice, it's the journey that matters as opposed to the final destination. We're holding in our kneeling side plank, allowing our right hand to hit the floor, dropping our left hand towards our left leg. Breathe in to raise this left arm, breathe out to lower. It's okay to reverse that breath pattern. It's okay to include your leg with your arm. It's okay to rest the arm and only raise the leg. Up to you. Selecting our options wisely as we breathe. We're resting our top hand to our waist, keeping our top leg lifted. Breathe in, fold through this knee joint. Breathe out as we press our heel towards the back of our mat. Breathing in as we fold. Breathing out as we straighten. Let's release this leg down. We trade it out to the other side. Kneeling side plank. Breathe in, gate pose. Breathing out as we return to our kneeling side plank. One breath, one movement. Body and mind working together. Breath and movement matching. And as a simple reminder, if we're ever performing something that does not agree with your body, whether it's a kneeling position, it's okay to find something else out, whether it's seated or standing. If we're laying on our backs and you're not able to lay on your back, finding something in a seated, standing, or quadruped all fours position. Let's hold in our side plank, drop the top arm down, and then lift up as you breathe in. Lower down, potentially adding the leg, maybe just the leg, maybe just the arm, possibly both together. And always listening to our bodies. So we limit rotation of the spine if we're pregnant or if we have back issues. If we're pregnant, no laying on your belly. Also, if you're pregnant, minimize the amount of time that you lay on your back. Side lying, kneeling if it's okay for your body, standing, sitting are completely acceptable substitutes. We rest our top hand to our waist. Breathe in, draw this knee into our chest. Breathe out as we press our heel towards the front of our mats. Holding our heel towards the front of our mat, we release down, bringing ourselves onto our knees if that's okay for our body. Cat-cow postures, making a quarter turn towards the front of our mat. This is a quadruped position. Breathe out, we round into our cat. Breathe in as we arch into our cow. It's okay to substitute a fist for a wrist in any yoga posture, with the exception of downward facing dog. We're creating a C curve shape with our spine in two opposing directions. Spinal balance, finding ourselves in our quadruped, sending one leg behind us, the opposite arm forward. Then release down and switch over to the other side. Continue to alternate side to side here. One breath, one movement, activated spinal balance. Body and mind working together. Breath and movement matching. It's okay to only raise a leg or to only raise an arm. Just keep switching sides. To make this a little bit more interesting, let's open the leg out to a dog on a fire hydrant and the arm out sideways. Lateral movement. Maybe combine those. Spinal balance for 2 repetitions, 1 to each side. Then the lateral dog on a fire hydrant, 1 to each side. And alternate. Again, options to only raise the leg or to only raise the arm. Realizing that spinal balance can serve as a substitute for Warrior 3. In session 21, we did perform Warrior 3. I think. I cannot remember now. I'm pretty sure we did. We are in session 22 today. Finding ourselves releasing into a child's pose extended. Little muscle memory of a place we can return to if our bodies need to take a break. Knees can be together or knees can be apart. Curling those toes under, downward facing dog. Lifting our knees off of the mat, we walk our dog, alternating as we drop one heel down, then the other. We have starfish hands. Even weight distribution amongst our fingertips and our palms. We're resting our knees to the mat. We're sitting back, finding ourselves onto our backs if we're able to lay on our backs. Abdominal exercises. Hands can go to the forehead, behind the head, or crisscross in front of our chest. As we breathe out, we're curling up into a gentle abdominal crunch. Breathe in as we lower back down. If we do happen to have our hands behind our heads, our hands serve as a hammock, not a crane, utilizing the strength of our abdominals to lift our head and our shoulders off of the mat, as opposed to the strength of our hands raising our head and our shoulders off of the mat. If we can, staying lifted, dropping our hands down to the sides of our body, palms face the sky. Breathe out, reach hand towards ankle, breathe in center, breathe out other side. Working through our lateral flexors. If your neck is tired, it's okay to bring those hands behind your head and support the cervical spine, creating a stronger core center with some abdominal exercises so we have a better place to extend from, a better place to return to in our yoga practice. Let's return to center, resting our heads back down. Raising our legs to our Pilates tabletop. Tilt the pelvis in, imprint the spine to protect the low back. Breathe in, maybe nodding the head yes. Blow out, it's okay to keep the head resting onto the mat. Single leg stretch. Breathe in, prepare. Breathe out, straighten one leg forward into a 45-degree angle below the butt cheek here. Breathe in, tabletop. Breathe out, the other leg goes forward, the 45-degree angle is below my butt cheek. Breathe in, tabletop. Blow out, 9, and 9, and 8, and 8. Breathe. Shh. 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 4 and 4 and 3 and 3 and 2 and 2. Last set. 1 and 1. Breathe in, tabletop. You could rest your feet down. Breathe out, armpit towards opposite knee obliques. Breathe in, back to center. Breathe out, other side. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, 9 and 9. Harder to single leg stretch your legs. 8 and 8. Breathe. 7 and 7. Shh. 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 Slow and control. Shh. Shh. And 3 and 3 and 2 and 2. Last set. 1 and 1. Breathe in, tabletop your legs, imprinted spine. Breathe out, take your imaginary hat off your head. Breathe in, pull your socks on. Maybe just the legs, maybe just the arms. Blow out, it's okay to rest your feet to the mat. Breathe in, come back to pull your socks on. Blow out, take your imaginary hat off your head. Breathe in, pull the socks on. Blow out, I choose to rest my head. Breathe in, pull the socks on. Blow out, take your imaginary hat off your head. Breathe in, pull the socks on. Last blow out, take the hat off. Breathe in, pull the socks on. Scissors, breathe in here to hold. Breathe out, straighten your legs, drop one leg down twice. Shh, shh, now switch it. Shh, shh, reach the bottom leg down and reach. Reach, we have 7 more sets and 7. 7. Shh, 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 and 3, 3, reach, 3, 3, and 2. 2, reach, 2, 2, last set. And 1, 1, breathe in, tabletop, breathe out, rest. Everything back down. Now that our abdominals are quite warmed up, moving into an activated bridge pose. Breathe in, arms lengthen up and overhead. Breathe out, lift the booty off of the mat as we drop our hands by our sides. Breathe in, drop the butt, raise the arms. Breathe out, lift the butt, and lower the hands. 1 breath, 1 movement, body and mind continuing to work together. Breath and movement matching. If you have the ability in your abdominal strength to find yourself into a boat pose, You can keep the hands resting and go from activated bridge, drop the butt down, sit on up into a boat. This is pretty intense for abdominal core. If you don't have the strength, continue with your activated bridge that we were previously performing. And if you are going from bridge to boat here, you might find that you're scooting off of the mat. In fact, I can feel it. I'm losing the cushion of the mat for my head. This will be our last one. Let's find ourselves back into our bridge pose. And let's rest our hips back down. Finding ourselves rolling over to one side for a sideline dancer pose. Bottom arm serves as our pillow, folding the knee joint of our top leg and transitioning from our mountain one phase of our yoga session with one breath, one movement to our mountain two phase, where we'll hold poses approximately 3 to 5 breaths. We release. We switch over to the other side, side lying dancer pose. Bottom arm serves as our pillow, folding the knee joint of our top leg and breathing. Let's release and gently press ourselves up to a seated position. From our seated position, preparing for a little bit of a side plank action. We did a kneeling side plank earlier. So from this position, I call it my cheerleader picture pose. I've got my top leg in front of my bottom leg's ankle, and I lift up into somewhat of a kneeling side plank. If you would like, you can hang out and you can adjust your legs to that kneeling side plank that we did earlier on in our warm-up, or you can straighten through this bottom leg and go into a full side plank, up to you. Option to also raise your top leg, and if you prefer to be down onto your elbow instead of up onto your hand for wrist issues, feel free for the full side plankers to drop down to your elbow and forearm. Let's release down. We switch over to the other side. So kneeling side plank would look like this. Full side plank, like this. Possibly raising the top leg, maybe not. We carefully release, child's pose, extended, modified, or regular. We're curling our toes under, downward facing dog. Let's step our left foot forward, preparing for a warrior one option. If you'd rather perform a kneeling warrior, the right knee hits the mat, or a crescent lunge, the right heel stays lifted, lengthening heart center to sky with either option. A full warrior one drops the right heel down to your mat, and we attempt to twist our torso towards the back of our mat, towards that left leg. Hips and shoulders and belly button facing our folded left knee for our full warrior one option. Pressing through the outside of our right foot. Surrendering to our breath. Surrendering to the pose. As we breathe out, warrior two, facing the side of our mat. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. Warrior two, sink into low body, expanding back with our upper body. Let's reverse our warrior. Left palm to the sky, expanding waist through rib cage and chest. If you want to have your blocks or your textbooks available towards your left leg, we'll be getting towards those triangles and pyramids shortly. Returning to our warrior two, sinking into low body, expanding back with our upper body. Embracing the sensations of our left quadriceps. Maybe eye gaze towards our left fingers, maybe eye gaze towards the side of your mat. Let's straighten through our left knee joint. Triangle pose, breathe and lean towards the back of our mat. Breathe out, dropping our left hand to knee, shin block, ankle, textbook, foot, or floor. Extending up through the tips of our right fingers as we imagine our bodies in between two window panes, not touching the glass in front or behind us. Let's release top hand down, possibly to blocks. Pyramid pose, we're stepping our right foot slightly inward, adjusting our hip position to determine which sensation is most desirable for our left hamstrings. We could stay here in our pyramid. If you'd like to join me for balancing half moon, we fold through our left knee joint, walk our hands or our blocks about 12 inches in front of our left foot. Possibly stay there, maybe raising our right foot up to the height of our spine, realizing we can send our backs up against a wall to assist us in this balancing option. Possibly right hand towards right leg, maybe right fingertips to the sky. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. We carefully release fingers and toes, pyramid pose. Possibly stay here in our pyramid, maybe a reverse triangle, sending the left hand to the waist. You'll be twisting away from me if you're facing the same direction as me. Eye gaze possibly behind you or over your left shoulder. Maybe reaching those left fingertips to the sky, possibly right hand to the outside of your left foot. And breathe. Reminding ourselves we limit rotation of the spine if we have low back issues or if we're pregnant. Let's return to center, pyramid pose. Returning to our balancing half moon with the option for a reverse balancing half moon. Folding, we can stay here in our pyramid or reverse triangle, folding through our left knee joint. Walking those fingertips about 12 inches in front of our left foot. Maybe raise our right foot to the sky. For regular half moon, the right arm, the same arm lifts as the same leg that's lifted. For reverse, you switch it out. So I'm going to raise the hand of my stationary or my stabilized leg for my reverse balancing half moon. And breathe. We carefully release fingers and toes. Let's step back, downward facing dog. Noticing the difference in sensation between the right and the left sides of our bodies. Slowed down upper body flow. Let's breathe into our plank or modified plank. It's okay to rest our knees to the mat. Breathe out, chaturanga slowly for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll up dog. Lengthening ears from shoulders. Let's hang out here in our upward facing dog for a few breaths. Reminding ourselves we can substitute child's pose extended for down dog at any point in time during our yoga session, and we can also rest in down dog or child's pose extended at any point as well, including now. On our next exhalation, let's move into our down dog or our child's pose extended. Finding ourselves stepping our right foot forward. Kneeling warrior. Left knee drops down to the mat. We breathe and lengthen arms to the sky for our kneeling warrior. Hang out here and breathe. If you'd rather look forward instead of to the sky, protect your cervical spine. Let's release our hands down. We step forward, forward fold, softening our knees. Airplane arms, hands reach behind us, palms face the floor. We can raise our head to the height of our tailbone. For our airplane, we could straighten our knees. We're tapping our left toes back if we'd like to move into a warrior 3 option. Maybe raise our left leg up to the height of our spine, possibly drop the hands down to the floor, maybe biceps by ears. And as a substitute, quadruped position, send that left leg behind you and maybe your right arm forward. For those of us in full warrior 3, option for chest expansion arms if balance allows. We carefully release fingers and toes, forward fold. Let's breathe and circle sweep our arms up and overhead. Breathe out, chair pose. Hanging out here in our chair pose, maybe raising our heels off of the mat, possibly dropping hands to thighs, maybe elevating biceps by ears. Eye gaze to a fixture. We breathe. Let's release our heels down, standing mountain pose. We step our right foot back into a wide sunflower stance. Breathe in, lengthen our arms up and overhead, clasping our hands together. Breathe out, laterally flex to one direction. You can choose which side you like to laterally flex. Let's breathe in, return center. Breathe out, we laterally flex over to the other side. Breathing in as we return to center. Breathing out, we release hands and energy to our heart center. Stepping towards the front of our mats. Mountain pose. Completing, hopefully, that same sequence if I can remember it correctly on the other side. Let's breathe in, lengthen our arms up and overhead. Breathe out, we're swan diving forward, forward fold. Finding ourselves stepping our left foot back, kneeling warrior, crescent lunge, so kneeling warrior drops the left knee down, crescent lunge keeps the left knee lifted, or warrior 1 legs drops the left heel down into a bit of a lateral turnout. Either way, raising heart center, maybe elevating arms up and overhead. For my full warrior 1ers, sink into low body, expand back with our upper body, twist the torso slightly to the right to align shoulders, hips, and belly button with our fronts of our mats. The hips want to face the side of the mat because of the leg positioning. This is where foot placement is so important if you're attempting the full warrior 1. Realizing the journey is what matters as opposed to the final destination. Warrior 2, hands out to the height of our shoulders. Sink into low body, expand back with our upper body. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. Pressing through the outside of our left foot, and we're breathing. Let's twist our right palm to the sky as we reverse our warrior spirit. We're expanding from our waist, through our rib cage and our chest. We're sending our positive healing exhalations to whichever area of our body we currently feel sensation. Let's return to our warrior 2 arms. We straighten through our right knee joint, triangle pose. Breathe in, lean towards the front of our mat, booty towards the back of the mat. Breathe out, drop right hand to knee, shin block, textbook, ankle, foot, or floor.
Automatically, we press our hips forward towards the side of our mat. We're lengthening up through the tips of our left fingers. Maybe eye gaze towards our left hand, maybe eye gaze forward towards the side of our mat. Always breathing.
Let's release top hand down, pyramid pose. Hands can go to blocks as well. Stepping the left foot slightly inward. We attempt to straighten through our right knee joint, possibly shifting hips forward and back to accommodate our pyramid pose. Embracing the sensations created in our right hamstrings. Sending positive healing exhalations to any area of our body where we currently feel sensation. Potentially maintaining this pyramid pose. If you'd like to join me for balancing half moon, we fold through our right knee joint, walk our fingertips forward. Possibly stay here, maybe raise our left foot up to the height of our spine. We could send our backs up against our wall to assist us in balance. Possibly left hand lifts to the left leg. This side might be easier, it might be more challenging. Maybe raising our left fingertips to the sky, possibly sending our eye gaze towards the side of our mat as well. Every day is different, every body is different. Finding a place where we feel challenged, yet successful. Let's safely release fingers and toes, pyramid pose, releasing our left heel down to the mat. Preparing for our reverse triangle, if that's okay for our spines. Right hand to the waist, twisting to the right side of our mat. Maybe eye gaze over our right shoulder to the ceiling above us, possibly straightening through the right elbow joint, potentially left hand to the outside of our right foot, and we breathe. We carefully release fingers back to our pyramid pose, shifting our hips forward and back if we so desire. We can stay here in our pyramid. We can return to our reverse triangle, balancing half moon, or reverse balancing half moon. Folding through our right knee joint, walking our fingertips forward. Maybe raising our left leg up to the height of our spine. If I raise my left arm, that would be regular balancing half moon. For reverse balancing half moon, lifting the hand of the foot that's onto the floor. And breathing. I accept my body and my mind completely in this moment, in this breath, releasing fingers and toes. Let's step back, downward facing dog. Or child's pose extended. Slow down upper body flow. We breathe into our plank or our modified plank, hanging out here in our plank for a few more breaths. Chaturanga for 5. Slowly 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll upward facing dog. Returning to down dog or child's pose extended. Let's step our left foot forward. Right knee drops down to the mat. Kneeling warrior. Breathing in, lengthening heart center sky. Breath continuation. We're releasing our hands as we step forward, forward fold. Softening our knees, airplane arms, hands reach behind us, palms face the floor. Lifting our head up to the height of our tailbone. We can stay here for our airplane. We could straighten our knees. We could tap our right toes back for our warrior 3 option, possibly raising our right foot up to the height of our spine. Hands can stay in airplane, or hands can go into full warrior 3. Quadruped option, right leg lifts, left arm lifts for substitutes for our warrior 3. If we enjoyed the chest expansion option for my full warrior 3ers on the first side, you may select this side here as well to interlace your hands behind your back. We carefully release fingers and toes, forward fold. The next time we breathe in, let's circle sweep our arms to the sky. The next time we breathe out, chair pose to complete this sequence. Maybe raise the heels up off of the mat. Maybe keep the heels resting. Hands can rest to thighs, or hands, biceps can elevate by ears. Let's release. Standing mountain pose. Finding ourselves, lengthening arms up and overhead. Breathe out, we swan dive forward, hinging from our hips. Returning to our forward fold. Transitioning to our mountain 3 phase of holding poses, approximately 5 to 10 breaths. Let's walk, hop, or jump. Feet back. Downward facing dog. Three-legged down dog. Placing the right hand to the middle of our mat. Left hand can go to the low back. If this is uncomfortable for your body, it's okay to keep ourselves in regular down dog. We're stretching one arm as we're strengthening the other. And we're breathing. We release our left hand down, placing it near the middle of where both hands would lay in a regular down dog. Sending our right hand to our mid-back and balancing out our single arm options on our three-legged downward facing dog. Releasing our arms down, resting our knees down. Child's pose. Stacking fists side by side in our child's pose, raising our thumbs up to our forehead, resting our forehead onto our elevated thumbs. Promoting a circular motion with our thumbs to create a nice massage. Reversing the direction of that circular motion. Let's walk our hands towards our knees and press ourselves up. Wrapping our feet around, finding ourselves in a seated butterfly pose. Hands to ankles, upright position. We could stay upright, we could hinge forward, sinking face over feet, embracing a nice stretch for the inner thighs. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. Shout out to one of your classmates, and her name will be the word of the day, penny. Not like a nickel or a dime, but penny. P as in penguin, E as in elephant, N as in Nancy, N again as in Nancy, I as in iguana, E as in elephant. So an I-E at the end, but penny is our word of the day. Bringing ourselves back up. We're going to keep one knee bent and extend one leg out to the side. If you happen to have a strap, you're welcome to pick up your strap and place that strap around the arch of your foot. Lateral flexion stretch, potentially laterally flexing over. So not sending your nose to your knee yet. We'll get there. But getting this nice side body stretch working for us. Now you can stay here in this side body stretch, or you can turn and face this leg and sink your face over this knee of your straightened leg. Possibly using the strength of your hands onto your strap or your rope. You could, if you have the flexibility, your peace fingers can be wrapped around your big toes to surrender upper body over lower body. Let's bring ourselves back up. We transition to the other side, possibly sending our strap over, and if we don't have a strap, we can just raise this top arm up and overhead and laterally flex to the side. Breath continuation. Possibly staying here, maybe adjusting your body to sink face over nose, surrendering upper body over lower body, and breathing. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. And let's bring ourselves up and out, getting ourselves a little bit closer to the earth. And if you're not able to lay on your back, stay in a seated position for a seated spinal twist. But I'm just going to do this laying on my back, straightening one leg forward, pulling one knee into my chest, pressing this knee to the opposite side. Maybe send your eye gaze over your shoulder. Always breathing. Releasing any tension in the low back, and this is another one of these rotations of the spine that we might want to limit the rotation for pregnancy or for low back issues. And let's return to center as we switch over to the other side. This side might give more resistance, it might have less resistance, honoring our bodies with our breath. return to center. Modified pigeon pose, laying on our back, placing ankle to thigh, possibly raising our foot off of the mat, potentially clasping our hands around the bottom leg shin or the hamstrings. Always breathing. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. We're releasing, and we're switching over to the other side. Ankle to thigh, possibly clasping our hands around the bottom legs, hamstrings, or shins. Creating space with our exhalations, potentially sinking a tenth of a millimeter deeper into our stretch on each exhalation. Appreciating the journey in our yoga practice over the final destination. We release, finding ourselves moving through some muscle tightening before we enter relaxation. Curling those toes under, clenching the muscles in the arches and the tops of our feet, tightening those muscles around the ankles, moving into the shins and the calves, the knees, around the quadriceps, the hamstrings, the gluteal muscles, tightening up through the spine, moving into the rib cage, down into the shoulders, moving into the arms, folding elbows, clenching fists, tightening up through the cervical spine and the face, holding tightly to every single muscle we can create tension in our bodies. Now from where we started, let's soften through those toes, relaxing through the arches of our feet and the tops of our feet, softening the ankles, releasing tension through the calves, through the shins, through the knees, releasing and letting go through the quadriceps and the hamstrings, softening the hips open, relaxing through the gluteal muscles, sinking our tailbone into the mat, resting through our pelvic floor, softening through the rib cage, moving up the spine, softening through those shoulder blades, releasing underneath the armpits, softening the inner elbows, relaxing through the wrists, releasing the fingers, softening through the neck, relaxing the muscles in our face. The eyes can gently remain closed. Let's think of the area behind our ankles, our Achilles tendon, and let's soften this portion of our body. Moving our breath focus to our core center, finding a calm and relaxed abdominal core, finding a peaceful heart center. Let's swallow to relax through our communication center. Finally, the area in between our eyebrows, we soften this portion of our bodies. If you'd rather have your knees bent, or if you'd rather roll onto the side for a fetal position, if you'd rather lay on your belly or bring your legs up against the wall, find a place where you feel calm, peaceful, and relaxed. one side. Roll, returning to a fetal position. Noticing any positive transformational changes that may have occurred during today's session. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. Gently pressing ourselves up, returning to our seated position. Let's breathe in as we lengthen our arms up and overhead. Breathing out as we release